The Yanuka Rav Shlomo has been attributed with another miracle. I'm going to look at what the Bible has to say about miracles and false prophets in the end times, as well as how we as Christians should respond to these people who we believe could be the fulfillment of these end times prophecies. First, I'll quickly go through a few verses here that talk about these end times deceptions and these end times miracles that will be going on within false prophets in the end times. 2 Thessalonians 2:9-10 says the coming of the lawless one is according to the working of Satan, with all powers, signs, and lying wonders, and with all unrighteous deception among those who perish, because they did not receive the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And that chapter, 2 Thessalonians 2, is all about the end times and the coming of Jesus. Revelation 19:20 says, "Then the beast was captured, and with him the false prophet who worked signs in his presence, by which he deceived those who received the mark of the beast and those who worshipped his image. These two were cast alive into the lake of fire burning with brimstone." And lastly, Matthew 24:24, another chapter about the great tribulation and the end times. "For false Christs and false prophets will rise and show great signs and wonders to deceive, if possible, even the elect." Now this guy, the Yanuka Rav Shlomo Yehuda, who has been attributed already with at least 5 miracles, is now attributed with another miracle that I'm about to cover here. But I guess I should briefly touch on the fact that it's important that these people that we don't know who, if they're the fulfillment of the false prophet or the Antichrist or whatever, we shouldn't just come out and say that's exactly who they are. I made a few videos on this guy and they got a lot of views. And then I saw a ton of videos on TikTok and YouTube shorts and all over of people claiming this guy was the false prophet 100%, or he's 100% the Antichrist. And we just don't know that. And we should be praying for this guy who we don't know what his case is, but we know ultimately he doesn't believe that Jesus is the Christ. And so we absolutely should be praying that for him. And until we know exactly for sure who the Antichrist is, right now or the false prophet, right now we're just looking at characteristics that these people fulfill. And that's kind of just where we're at. But to just come out and say we know for sure, I won't ever do that until I ever know for sure if I'm here when that happens. So now we'll get into this new miracle and the strange things surrounding it that this Yanuka has performed and that's been attributed to him recently. This came out on December 3rd, 2022 on the channel. I don't know if it's run by him or someone runs it for him, the Yanuka Rav Shlomo Yehuda. And it says, the Yanuka was moved, being told that his prayers were answered. The father gets his son back. But I'll play the video on the screen, and pretty much this man's son was sick with cancer, with liver cancer. He was having to go to the hospital to get morphine and all that would accompany that. And let me just arrange to them when people start to call them out and question if that's who these people are. If someone starts performing miracles and gives God no glory, they should not be questioning at all why someone's saying, well, why are they saying I'm the Antichrist? Well, you're giving God no glory when miracles are happening. People are going to say you could be the Antichrist or the false prophet if that happens. Same with politicians and world leaders who give God no glory and they're trying to implement world government and world currencies. Guess what? People are going to call you the Antichrist, and don't be surprised when that happens. And it's not rude for people to do that. But we need to be fair in our understanding of these things with these people, because most of these people probably aren't the Antichrist or the false prophet. And until we know that, we need to pray for these people to be delivered, because they clearly aren't following Jesus Christ. 1 John 4:1 says, "Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits whether they are of God, because many false prophets have gone out into the world." So we are called to be discerning these things. Jesus said also in Luke 6, which is like a crucially important verse that we need to realize in the times we're in, that Jesus said to love your enemies and to do good to those who hate you. Bless those who curse you and pray for those who spitefully use you. He says, but what if you love those who love you? What credit is that to you? For even sinners love those who love them. And the same for if you do good to people who do good to you. Even sinners do that. I mean, that's obvious. Everyone knows that. But Jesus said, love your enemies and do good to those who do bad to you. So these people that we don't know what their deal is, and until we fully know if they're the Antichrist or if they're the false prophet, we should be praying for discernment, be praying for how God wants us to respond to these people, and be praying that these people and that everyone will come to salvation, and for that to be our focus. Because for us to just come out and say these people are 100% the false prophet or the false antichrist, like I've seen all over TikTok, is just not really the right thing to do. And so we need to just be truly Jesus followers in how we handle this situation. So hopefully that wasn't kind of all over the place. I felt kind of a level of responsibility to put that out, because I've seen so many videos on this guy being the false prophet when he's meeting qualifications, and even, potentially qualifications of the Antichrist, but clearly not even close to the level where we can say for sure. And until we know that for sure, we should not be coming out and saying that. And we should be praying for this guy, because he clearly doesn't believe that Jesus is the Christ. So we need to be always praying and contending for that, just like Jesus taught us in Luke 6. So it is shocking to see that these miracles are being attributed to him, and he's really not giving God very much glory, and he doesn't believe Jesus is the Christ. So it is surprising for sure, and something we need to watch for. But you'll never find me coming out and saying 100% I know who the Antichrist or false prophet is until I 100% know who he is. Not just sensational or just for views or for fun or whatever, but until we absolutely know, which we absolutely don't know, in my opinion right now. I know some people think they do, but for me, I don't. So that's where I'm at. Thanks for watching. Seek Jesus, follow him. That's the most important thing that we have to do in the times that we're in. He is the goal here. It's not always exposing and all that, but the goal is to act and be like Jesus. So that's the most important thing. Thanks for watching, and God bless.